Marc, what is the biggest mistake you've ever made in trading, and how did you learn from it? We all make
Uh,
mistakes. Even you two have made some mistakes,
I, I,
probably
w-
less than me, but what was your biggest?
I wish you hadn't brought this up, but you did. So I was trading options in a company called Digital Equipment. It was a big computer manufacturer, very successful in the 70s. And I put on a very sizable position, too much of my net worth involved in it. So there's Tom's notion of trading small. I was trading super large. And I had a nice profit on the trade, and I tried to exit it with a limit order. And there was a specialist, this is when specialists on the floor were ruled the roost. It happened to be on the Amex, and the specialist in Digital Equipment ran ahead of my limit order, and I was stubborn, didn't change it. Cost me that whole trade. It went to zero, and I couldn't pull the trigger at a lower price. And it was all because A, my size was too big, and B, I got stubborn. Instead of selling it at the market, giving up a penny or two, the option was probably trading at 5.50 at the time. I had bought it at about $2. In, as I said, very big size. So what I learned was don't be stubborn. And there are people out there who can take advantage of your orders. It's less so now with electronic trading. But just be flexible. And when you want to exit the trade, exit the trade. So what I've learned is you can buy on limit orders, but you sell on market orders. Once
I
you've decided to get out of a trade, don't mess around.
get out. I imagine that what both of you say are mistakes I'm going to have made myself. Tom, what's your biggest mistake, and how did you learn from it?
Well, I've made about 1 million mistakes in my career. And that would, it's hard to pick one. I would say that I like to use the saying, when genius fails. And my own genius has failed me many, many times. And almost all of the times it's because, you know, just because I've just, the same as Marc just said. I mean, almost every trader, the failure is, we're always going to think we know what's going to happen. So we're always going to, take a position and get very opinionated. And sometimes we'll add to that position. I think the biggest mistake that traders make is, besides getting too big, because I've already beat that point to too much, is that we'll have a tendency to add to positions, especially, positions that aren't winning. So I've been very careful over the years not to add to losing positions, and not to let my, my big ego get in the way of, and force me to make a trade that's bigger than I want to make. And every single losing trade I've made is because I think something is going to happen and I'm sure of it, and it doesn't happen. And so, I think every single person listening today can relate to that. You feel pretty confident something's going to happen, and the market goes the other way. And I think we all have, literally hundreds, if not thousands. I have, probably hundreds of thousands of stories of that. So it's, I can't, that you're hearing, I don't want to get into the specifics of my worst trades ever, because those will just depress people.